in Bundaberg at the moment. Now, when you think of Bundaberg, you might think of rum, you might think of sugarcane, but you probably don't think of serious forward driving and some of the best camping you're likely to find anywhere in Australia. We've been given the hot tip that exists here in Bundaberg. I've been here before and have had a sneak peek at some of the opportunities for forward drivers that lie in this area. Now, we're in Pine Creek at the moment. I'm taking a track on the right now. So lock your hubs and your favourite lounge chair, because something tells me this adventure is going to be wild.
Righto, Pine Creek is a stone's throw south of Bundy, just off the Pine Creek Road. We aim to tackle as many tracks as we possibly can before finding a campsite down along the mighty Burnett River. Shauno was also promised that we're going to get a beach camp in somewhere along the Burrum Coast National Park right towards the end of the trip. I'm eager, let's get into this. Have a listen to that, will you? Geez, you've got to love the sound of the Dirty 30. No matter what you think of Toyotas, that thing sounds insane.
Oh, that's a little bit sticky.
That looks like it's quite deep, mate.
It's actually a bit sticky, yeah, I had to really jump on that.
I think I might go in slow and then power out of this, because I don't want, if I can avoid, doing any underbody damage this early on into my trip. Righto, Dion, let's see what you got, mate.
All right, make sure you leave plenty of room for me on that other side, because I'm shooting through it real hard, mate.
Good drive.
Mate, the ground clearance on that dingo makes all the difference.
Sean found a cool little challenging track with a heap of very tight corners that we just couldn't pass up. Of course, though, this is no place for a trailer. So Dion's opted to stay put and watch for the next 30 minutes or so.
How's this, mate? It's like a special stage. It's all off-cambered and like an old creek or something like that.
That's exactly what it is, mate. I think it's an old creek.
Actually, I might get you to spot me through here, mate. This looks like it sort of falls off into the bank. I think I need to come over a bit. I think I'm on the right line. I guess I just wanted you around to share it if I do go over.
That would not be the first time, mate. It's not much I can offer you.
I think I just wanted your support more than anything.
Off-camber tracks, they always feel terrible, and an extra pair of eyes can just help to put you at ease. Woohoo! We weren't far into this track, and Shauno and I both decided we were going to call it Frame Twister for obvious reasons. Have a look at the flex, eh?
That's cool.
Okay, my turn. Now, I've had the benefit of being able to watch Sean go through here, so I know where not to go and what line I should be taking. I'm going to do things just a little bit different here. We'll see how we go, but traction control and the auto in the D-Max, I reckon I've got this.
Turn that a bit more. Go back and wrap around up there. And a little bit that way. Yep. Yep, you're a little bit wide of the mate.
There's no doubt about it, traction control works. I don't know how, it just does, and you could really see it there. Look at that, turning left down that slope looks as sketchy as heck. Actually wasn't as bad as it looks, but it felt terrible. Have a look at that, you can really see just how tight and twisty this track is. Shauno's not even down that slope and he's already turning hard right to make the next section. Coming up too high on this side, dude. You're coming right up on this bank. No, I wouldn't. Oh, you can try. I reckon you can start to get an appreciation right about now for exactly why we suggested Dion just wait back there and not bring the trailer in here.
That's what you want, this sort of terrain, good tyres. Makes all the difference. Yeah, good deal.
If traction control was ever going to help me,
this is the point at which I'm going to put all my faith in it.
Well, you can't actually see down here where your tyres need to be. So I'm going to jump on the GME handheld, just guide him through and make sure he does no damage.
It's right about now I'm actually doing a lot more damage to the driver's seat than I am anything else.
Go back a bit, mate, and put the more right hand down.
Some things just aren't meant to be. I could have kept going here and given it a bit more curry, but of course you always risk damaging something, and I don't want to do that so early on. Out with the winch, and let's take things a little bit more carefully here.
If you want to turn your tyres that way, can you start the move? As soon as you can, really.
I think the main problem I had right there was actually getting hung up on my rear tow bar. Had I not had that in, I think I would have come down off that bank and would have been able to drive forward with no dramas at all. Now, what we didn't take into account was that this cracking little track actually didn't go anywhere. So when we got to the end, there was nothing else for it but to do a 50-point turn, come back around and do it all again in reverse. And that opened up a whole new can of worms. This is the hill we just came down. Now, it might only be a four-wheel drive length, but it's extremely steep and it is off camber on the driver's side. And once you're up, you then have to take an extremely hard right-hand turn. This is really tricky.
You want to get yourself in a position where you can turn up that hill. That's going to be the fun bit.
That's pretty impressive. As I just said, it is quite a hill. Super steep, only short, but super steep, and at the top there is a hard right-hand turn. You can't just go like a bull at a gate up that hill.
Chuck a bit of locker on, that made all the difference. These angles are a little bit different to mine. The 30's got big 35s on it and it's got a locker here and there, so they're made light work of it. It's going to be a challenge getting this one through.
I'm trying to get nice and close to that edge, otherwise I haven't got a hope. Help me out. That's a CV, boys!
We might have to chop that out, that thing, and then you'll be right.
Definitely a CV. How bad? I don't
Or the
know.
winch might just pull
However,
up and over.
it pretty much rules me out driving up
We'll give
this
it a go.
short, steep hill. We're going to take the logical choice here and winch myself up, but that brings with it extra challenges.
When you get that nose over, it might be wise to reposition that winch and go that way.
Luckily on this track and in this part of the world, there is no shortage of trees. Something tells me we're going to need a lot of them. I might need eyes on here. I reckon I could tip over because I'm coming up on that passenger side.
I was just hoping that right hand wheel would pop up before it tipped.
I want to put your winch back on that tree to hold yourself, and I'll use my winch to winch it maybe. What we've got here is a situation where the winch is going to pull Graham up and maybe over. So I'm going to use my rear winch off a tree to pull him down. So having the rear winch has just paid for itself about 10 times over. So it's a good thing. I'll unhook him, he'll get up here by himself, and then we're going to get him through the rest of the track. How fun's this? When you're choosing a recovery kit, just make sure the recovery kit that you choose is a full and comprehensive one. And what I mean by full and comprehensive, I mean that it does have a pulley block, it does have at least 2 shackles, and it has a snatch strap, a tree trunk protector, and an extension strap. All of those things, trust me, you use them and more. Have a go at this one, boys. This must be the one that the locals call the two-step. Don't ask me how I can sort of tell that.
The remainder of that track actually went off without too many dramas, and we met up with Dion quite easily. However, we're not out of the thick of it yet.
There we go.
We've still got a little
How
section of
good was
track
that?
that the locals call two-step. I reckon it's going to take me about 5 to get up that, but we'll see how we go. I've got every bit of confidence. Hey, the dirty 30 with the wheel lift.
That's a big wheel lift. Yeah, how good's that?
Okay, three-wheel drive action. Okay, I'm taking a slightly different line to Shauno here. There's no way I would make it up the main track without doing a significant amount of damage. So I'm going to take the track on the right-hand side. It's no easy feat though. It's going to take a fair bit of momentum. First go, no way, but I can feel that I've got this. I'm going to keep trying. I ain't backing off.
That's a go.
Righto, Dion's here to test out that scamper camp, and there's something that's telling me he ain't going to take that right-hand lane. He's going left all the way. He wants to know exactly at what point these campers will break, if they'll break. And the only way to do that is to put them through hell. Go for it, mate.
Can you go back a bit? And I'll chuck a log in.
Where Dion has stopped right there is the part of the track from which it gets its name, two-step.
Yeah.
You can see the rear and the front wheels both trying to come up at the same time. Hard enough without a camper trailer, pretty darn difficult with a camper trailer. We'll try and pack it a bit and give him another go. You can see he wasn't holding back. This is no nonsense. He was giving that a red hot shot. But like a lot of things, there comes a time and a place, and you've got to bring out the winch. This is that time, and this is that place.
Quick winch. He doesn't need a hell of a lot. Just got to get that trailer, bounce it up over that first step, and then hopefully be able to drive from there.
Oh, yep, there's no guessing what that is. CV, 100%.
I've heard that noise.
A couple of times today, mate.
Yep.
Actually, we know what that means.
That's no good.
It means he's not going forwards up this hill anymore. He's going to go backwards. A little bit of right hand. Oh.
Dion's opted to reverse down and have a crack at the right-hand side. He ain't going to back off this one. Look out. Yes! That drive under our belts, I reckon we head for camp, lads. This is the Burnett River. We've been told there's some cracking campsites on the opposite side. It was just a matter of finding a crossing, which Shauno looks like he's done. Get across here, set up camp, and crack a cold beer nice and early.
You know what? There's wheel tracks that go down here. It looks like they even cross the river. Yes, I go this way. Looks like a bit of a crossing. Yeah, how good is this?
Look at that. That is spectacular.
Absolutely spectacular. Probably washing the mud out too.
Might just get bold here if you don't mind.
Keep going, Dion. Keep going, keep going, keep going. No.
What you're unable to see here is that under this moving water, of course, is Riverstone. And if you've ever driven on it, you'll understand it's some of the softest stuff to drive on. Once I stopped, I simply couldn't get going again and was just spinning tyres in the water.
In the river. Someone come and get me.
Oh, what? You're in the river?
Yeah, mate. Dion stopped at the exit there and I couldn't get going.
I think Dion's down too, mate. Are you letting water in, Graham?
No, I don't believe I am. I think I'm just okay, I think.
I gotta snatch you, Dion, then I'll get you out of the way.
With Shauno busy trying to get Dion forward, I decided there was
Coming
no
out.
point in sitting around, so I jumped out the window and decided to put a self-recovery into play.
Right, you ready?
Yeah, mate.
River sand. It's some of the softest sand you'll ever drive on. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say river sand is the softest sand I've ever driven on.
Focus on. See if you can get around me now and I'll let some tyre pressures down. Hey.
That's all good. Here comes Shauno.
Whilst Dion was knocking a bit of air out of his tyres, Shauno's doubled back around and come to give me a hand. Good on you, buddy. I'm just starting to take on a little bit of water.
Problem when you got a couple of vehicles in 3-wheel drive. They don't seem to go as good as ones in 4. Righto.
Using the Dirty 30 as an anchor, no time at all, I had the D-Max back up and onto dry land, and being a heck of a lot lighter than the other vehicles, I tell you what, I was in my element once I got to the other side. Well, that is one heck of a way to get to camp, but we're heading for camp now. Beautiful little site right down on the banks of the Burnett River. You can hear the fish jumping, Shauno's twitching because he didn't bring his fishing rod with him, and the sky is clear. It's going to be a cracking night. We're going to get a fire going. Shauno's cooking up a feed. This is why we own a 4-wheel drive.
Now we're cooking up a favourite of mine. It's a chicken parmigiana. Now, of course, it's not any old parmigiana. It's one of my favourites. I've got all different things I found in the bottom of the Waco, so it's going to be an absolute beaut feed. First things first, I'm going to jump into the Waco, grab some bacon out, fry that off, and then I'll get into the chicken. I'm going to cut that bacon up just into quite large sort of chunks. I don't have to go too small on the bacon. Now, I've just got breast chicken, nothing too fancy. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cut the breast in half, and then I'm just going to flatten it out. Well, now I've cut that into 2 individual pieces. I still want to get that chicken flatter, so to do that, I found myself a nice river rock. It's nice and flat. I've also cleaned it too, so it should be nice and clean. I'm literally just going to pound the absolute thing like it owes me money. Hang on. That's working an absolute treat. The whole plan is to get those nice and thin. Look at that one. The aim is to get that pan nice and hot. I'm going to use a bit of oil in there, of course. There's a bit of a shallow fry. All right, now that should heat up by the time I've coated a few of these. So, into the flour. Shake him up. And he goes straight into the egg. And then he's straight into the pancos. Ooh, straight in. Shake him up, and then he's done. How easy is that? Now, of course, you repeat that: flour, egg, breadcrumbs. Don't get it wrong. Make sure you haven't had too many 4X Golds before you try this one. All right, that oil's nice and hot now. Now, I've got a few going. Graham's taken the plate, of course, and he's cooking a bunch down on the fire. So I'm just going to start putting this straight in the pan here. I'll be able to cook a fair few on the pan. It's going to be super hot now. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Going to shallow fry those. Now, it's chicken, you don't want to have it medium rare. You want to cook it pretty good. I'll tell you what, these are looking spectacular. Nice and golden brown. Exactly what you want. Nice and cooked too. I've been told chicken is only good when it's cooked. A bit raw is not so good. So I'm taking these ones off the heat, put them straight down onto a bit of paper towel. That's just going to drip any excess fat off. Righto. Now, we've got chicken ready. We've got chicken on the cook. Now to make the sauce. So I've just got some basic pasta sauce here, straight into a bowl. Got a bit of spicy sauce. Now, Graham did tell me to go a bit easy on the chilies. He said his guts weren't feeling 100% great. So I'm just gonna really all those chilies in. Chili sauce, you can't go too wrong. There we go, may as well just put it all in. First up, sun-dried tomatoes. Next up, that bacon, of course, that we cooked up before. Sprinkle the bacon on top. Got some olives, jalapenos, and now last up, all we've got left is the cheese. Well, you want to sprinkle that cheese right around. Now the last bit of that cheese is on. Now all we've got left to do is take this back over the fire. We're going to put the lid on, some coals on, melt that cheese, and we're good to go.
I'm going to put this down here, bro. What I want you to do, though, is get a look at this, if you would. Would you mind?
Is it good?
Just have a look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of palmy there, folks. Oh, mate. Got the works, mate. Look at that. Cook perfection. Oh, there you go. Who says you can't bring the pub to the bush? We've got cold beer, we've got palmies, and it's a great night with great company. This is about as good as it gets. I always say that. But this one here, it's really even surprised me.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Chicken palmy with all the gear. No idea.
We're going to take mine over there and
I think I'm going to join you, mate.
get comfortable.
Well, the plan for today is actually a pretty simple one.
Shauno's told me about a beach out near Bundy. So we're going to try and reach that beach and hopefully make camp down there tonight. Coastal campsite, but of course, we're down in quite a valley here. We've got to get back up these tracks and then out to access the beach tracks. And I think that's going to be easier said than done this morning, but what we're here for. And I, for one, cannot wait to get stuck into it. So, but what I've actually done, it's a positive negative. What I've actually done is I've busted the CV, yes, but I've destroyed the internal components of the CV, and the external housing is fine, it's still attached. And that's good news because it means that nothing can get into the wheel bearing side of things, and the sub-axle boot up here that goes into the diff, that's still perfectly intact. The more I look at it, the more I think that this sub-axle is probably in the best place it could be, and I don't even want to tie it to anything, because if I tie it, it will restrict the movement, whereas as it is now, if I turn the wheel and it wants to move slightly out of the way, it can do. So I think this is probably as good as it's going to get, and I'm going to leave things exactly as they are and drive out of here in two-wheel drive.
Okay, with that positive negative out of the way, it's time to pack up and get the convoy moving. Of course, we've got to cross the Burnett River again, but with the lessons learned from yesterday, momentum is going to be my friend. I'm going to get through in one piece. Then we've got a large rutted hill we've got to get up on the other side, and I think
Water crossing.
that's going to challenge all of us. There you go, as you can see, not hanging around, and Dion, I reckon, is going to do exactly the same. Straight across, it's not deep, and so long as you carry that momentum, you ain't going to go down.
Mate, I reckon leave that snatch strap right there. I'm going to have a crack up until, I'm quietly confident up until it gets that super rutted bit in the canyon.
Yeah, and you're going to lose traction.
Yeah. Two-wheel drive. I've got traction control to the rear, so the rear will work with traction control.
Yep.
And you'd be amazed how far that'll get me, but if it doesn't, I don't want to push it too much further. So.
No, that's it.
Leave that on.
We'll leave that there.
Yep,
I'll
see
plot
how we
up
go.
in front and I won't get too far ahead.
See how we go. Yeah. All right, let's do this.
You really want to get your line right through here.
Okay, Shauno's up first. He's got
Great.
fully working four-wheel drive, and he's going to eat this, absolutely eat it, which is good, because I have a feeling he might be needed.
See, I think I'll get to there. I reckon in there's where I'm going to get stuck.
Yeah, you might have a bit of struggle in that rut. I'm just going to sit here for a bit.
I think you may not get a lot of camera people.
And that, of course, is the bonus of taking mates out when you're four-wheel driving. There's always someone there to lend a hand when needed.
I think you might have to come and get me, mate.
Hello, you can't get out of the vehicle, so let's do this. You stay where you are.
Yeah, copy, mate. I'm right up against that bank.
Get your head cam on. All right. Oh, geez, getting out's tricky. She's getting in again. It's tricky. Easier than getting out though.
Okay, mate, I'm just going to sort of let the clutch out in first gear and hopefully that's enough.
As you can see, I didn't really need too much help there. It was just getting over that initial rut. And I guess I should be pretty thankful for how far I did get, given the fact that I'm in two-wheel drive.
Couldn't have driven out of there in two-wheel drive.
Dion's up and in exactly the same predicament that I was. Two-wheel drive, busted front end, he's towing a camper trailer. There's no doubt in my mind that at some point through here, Dion is going to have to either winch or be towed up. It's just when. No point in pushing it and doing further damage. Let's see how he goes. He's done pretty darn well to get to there, if you ask me. Come on, man, keep pushing. There, did you hear that noise? Did you hear that? That is a tyre off the bead.
I'm stuck too, but I can't go back any further because the camper trailer's right up against the side of the bank.
Dion's just busted a tyre off the bead there, and it's actually a pretty clean bust. We're confident we'll get it back on. We're going to jack her up, get that tyre off the ground, and then reseat that bead. Put some air in it, and I reckon Dion will just about drive out of here. If not, we'll keep that winch on and and just get him up and over that initial lip.
What I'm doing here is just doing both winches at once. Try and hold, see on. You moving? Yeah. It's working out for the tree. Up. Pull up. I've got a feeling this is gonna get you quite flexed up.
We might have been out of the valley and on our way, but this is typical Pine Creek country. Big ruts, off camber, and a lot of it really does require lockers and lift.
Yeah, look at it go, the flex demon.
The flex demon.
Geez, that is a big rut down there, I don't know. I'll get out of that. I'm going to try and straddle it a bit, see how we go. It really is all about picking your line. Get it right and you'll drive a lot of these things with ease. Get it wrong though, and you really can make it very difficult for yourself. I think I'm in it or out of it. I'm not sure where I am, to be honest. And sometimes there's just a little bit of blind luck. Ah, yes. What's he doing under there? Shauno, what's going on, mate?
I was just jumping in the 30 and the brake light came on, which means that the fluid is a little bit low. So I checked the fluid and it was empty and didn't think much of it, so I just put some fluid in. It was a bit odd, obviously, that it had zero fluid. So jumped back in, the foot went to the floor and I knew, uh-oh, we've got a problem. We're leaking brake fluid. So it's pretty easy to find out where it was happening. And it looks like we've just got something that's loose. It might have just rattled with the corrugations. Or it might be more sinister. It might even have a little, it's braided lines, so hopefully it's just that connection. Let's tighten it up and hopefully we'll be back in business. What we've found is it's not just rattled loose, it's actually got a hole in the brake line. It's worn through on something, just old age I suppose, but what I'll do now is just clamp that brake line off, so I run essentially 3 brakes. As soon as you clamp it off, you'll get the pressure back in and I'll have brakes again. So 3 brakes is better than no brakes. Just basically using multi-grips to clamp that brake line. Then I'm just going to cable tie those multi-grips to the chassis so I don't lose my multi-grips. Yep, looks like a off-cambered rutted hill climb, mate. Look, the gnarly bit's right at the start where it looks like it's pretty crossed up. You might even lift some tyres, or in my case you'll probably just flex a hell of a lot. But then it gets quite steep and off-cambered.
You got anything good to say about this hill? Actually, that all sounds pretty darn good to me. Oh, geez, it's steep at the top. Whoa.
Yo, my goodness.
Oh, the flax beast, look at it go. It's like a turtle.
I'm using all my flexes up.
Oh, the flex ratio is out of control. Look at that thing going.
You don't realise how steep it is to actually get on this track.
Yeah, no, I thought that too. I'll let you get to the top, mate. You've got when you're ready. What are you doing? That was gnarly.
It's off cambered. It's off cambered and steep. Oh man. This is going to look like nothing on the DVD, but this is a proper little track.
Okay, so you're noticing that I've got drive to all four wheels and wondering how the heck did that happen? Well, that's the beauty of Pine Creek. You're never far from town. A quick phone call saw myself and Dion with brand new CVs in our hand. That night, all hands on deck. A big effort was made to make sure we got the CVs changed and swapped out on both the D-Max and Dion 79. We are back in the game.
Traction control working here.
I like that.
See that? That's amazing science. I don't get it.
Traction control work.
I'm going to tackle this hill with a little more mumbo than I normally would because it really is steep at the top. And it's also reasonably loose too. Sorry. I'm going to give it all I've got. We'll see how it goes.
All right, coming up.
Dion's up, and I reckon he's going to use much the same tactic that I did. A bit of right boot, and just pick that line. I reckon he'll make this look easy.
That did not feel good at all.
All right, folks, you're on Graham and Dion cam right here. We've been left behind. You see, Shauno's gone back into town with the camera crew really slowly in order to get a new brake line for the Dirty 30. So Dion and I are making our way back out toward camp on our own. And, well, we've hit a bit of a predicament. So I thought I'd just flick the camera on and you're about to ride shotgun with me. What do you reckon, mate? We'll get you out of this?
Hopefully.
We'll be right, we'll be right. The problem is that Dion's fallen into a great big rut on one side. And because of a lot of factors, simply can't get back out of the rut. So we're going to have to try and winch him back up onto the track. So we'll hook him up here. And on the angle that I'm on, we're hoping that with my angle we'll be able to pull him back up out of that rut. From there he should be able to drive. Give that to you.
Safety first.
Safety first. Safety never takes a holiday. Look at that. That did it. That did it. Oh, you got a wheel in the air. That's exciting. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Oh no, you've cleared it. You've cleared it. You did it. That's cleared perfectly.
All that ground clearance.
Yeah. That's amazing. I did not expect that. Oh. Oh yes, baby. Yes. That's cool. That is too cool. All right, let's get out of here.
We received a UHF call from Shauno and the camera crew saying they'd picked up a brake line and were going to meet us back at the junction and get it fitted. And that meant that we were able to push on and continue out towards tonight's camp.
Mate, it is getting towards beer o'clock.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Ah, yes.
I'm
Good minds think alike. What do you got in plan?
trying to figure out a campsite. Look, we're out at Pine Creek at the moment. The VMS is showing all the tracks we've done today. I've actually kept a bit of a trail.
How far is it to the coast?
Well, that's what I'm looking at. It's not far.
All right,
In fact, there's a couple of back roads that'll get us there quite quickly. And we could probably get ourselves down to Palm Beach or even out at Woodgate.
Do you know any campsites down there?
Yeah, I know one down at Woodgate. I've been there before.
Okay.
And I've been told the Palm Beach ones are good too. They're spectacular on the beach, on the water, and like I said, half an hour from the tracks.
So you've got all the tracks that'll take us there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of back roads, so we can get there quite quickly from here.
All right, well, why don't you jump in front?
Yep.
And we'll just follow you.
By the time we get there, it'll be late afternoon, and I know that Waco's nice and cold, so...
Well, I know what's in that Waco. Makes me even more excited. Okay, fire up, mate. Let's get going.
I'm just going to put a waypoint here on the VMS just
To get back tomorrow.
To get back tomorrow to this point, yep.
Cool, man.
Okay.
With the VMS programmed, that was it for today. We were keen to head out to the coast, set up camp on the beach and relax. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is the pinnacle, the highlight of any day out on the tracks.
There we go. How good is this? Paradise awaits.
That is nice, really nice.
What a view.
How lucky are we to be able to drive on the best beaches in the world and then set up camp and spend the night there? Tell you what, those people that don't own four-wheel drives, they don't know what they're missing. Despite it actually being a weekend, this beachside campsite was actually relatively empty, and we had nobody for hundreds of metres either side of us, with several campsites still empty. I'm going to go all out tonight, really make myself feel like I'm at home. I'm going to set up my sand mat, then I'm going to put up my awning, of course, my swag on top of the sand mat, and then I'm going to put out an awning wall in order just to keep that wind down. I tell you what, this is camping A1 style. Dion's not wasting any time either. I've seen him put that dingo camper up before and it is amazingly quick. What I really love about it is that it's up off the ground, hard floor. Once you're inside there, you kind of feel like you're inside a house, only you just brought that house with you. You gotta love that. Waking up on the coast. It's in my blood. It doesn't get any better as far as I'm concerned. Except, however, if there's bacon and eggs involved. Bring it on. You know what though, something people don't really realise, I think anyway, when you've got something simple like this, let's say you do stop when you're doing a big trip and you make yourself a cup of coffee and a toasted sandwich, then you get going. You've probably just saved yourself $12 doing that. You do that over a year-long trip, that's a fair bit of cash you're saving.
Yeah, that's it. More fuel money.
Well, it's fuel money, exactly right, exactly right. Not to mention being able to stop in the middle of nowhere and not pay for accommodation.
That's it.
Little things like that do add up, slowly but surely, over a period of time, and little things like this bacon and eggs is going to make me add up. Just heading down there and getting stuck into another drive. D-dog. Yeah. Be careful on that one because it's on the edge, mate. She might squirt out and nick on the foot. Camp packed and breakfast eaten. Only one thing left to do. Final day. Let's hit the tracks and get stuck into it. The Palm Creek region of Burrum National Park is one of the best coastal campsites you'll see anywhere. And as an added bonus, the campsites are 30 minutes from some of the toughest tracks you'll ever do. What do you got up in front there, Shauno?
Just dropping into a little rut, and it looks like it, I don't know, it looks like it comes down to a bit of a step up just in front of me.
How in the name of all that is holy are we going to get up that? That's... Yeah, okay, have a go, mate. Yep. Struth, that ain't pretty. Let's hope he makes amends in the second go.
Come on.
Now that is what you call a spirited drive. Good work, buddy. All right, well, I'm going to give it a red hot go when I get the nod. Let's let traction control see if it can sort of help me here. Hit it with these. It's the D-Max for you. Okay, Dion, I've shown you how to do it, mate. Let's see what you've got. In essence, Dion's got to drive this twice. Once in the Toyota and then again for the Dingo. And that's something you've really got to be watching when driving with a camper trailer. Of course, it does help when your camper trailer is built like a brick outhouse. Good drive.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one, mate. There's obviously a track goes up to the left. It's nice and steep and rutted. Yeah, we'll have a look at this.
And jump out and have a look, eh? That is a cracking little hill.
It is. You know, the more I stand here and sort of study it, the harder I think it gets.
Yes.
When I first drove it, I was just about to get right into it.
Yeah.
But up towards the top bit, it's really off-cambered and quite steep. So.
Well, it's the big wombat holes that have got... let's go and have a closer look at it.
You
I
reckon?
might stand in one, yeah.
I might drive up there.
Really?
Nah, I'll have a look. Yeah.
Pine Creek through and through. Super steep, big ruts and off camber. 3 phrases we've been using a lot over the last couple of days. Shauno's up first. He's lifted, he's locked, 35s. I reckon he's going to eat this, but I know the dirty 30. It's going to look spectacular. Without a doubt, he's going to pick up a wheel.
Wow, that's a line. That's a line. I've got a map on my lap.
That is an aggressive line. A line only the dirty 30 could handle, I reckon. All right, let's give it a go.
I reckon the D-Max will make this look a lot more pretty than the 30 did.
Well, I don't really know. I'm just going to let the D-Max do the work here. The key here for me, of course, is to really pick my line. I'm trying to stay high, trying to get all 4 wheels up as high as I can, out of the ruts. I don't want to slide into the ruts. I want to try and straddle them where possible.
What an awesome drive. He changed the line up halfway through and didn't even really lift the tyre.
Alright, I'll call him up, eh?
Yeah, let's watch him come up.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
Alright, here I come.
Dion's up, and this is a whole different kettle of fish, of course. He's pulling a camper trailer, so he's going to have to pick the line that suits him. Watching us has given him an idea, but now it's up to him. That is a solid drive when you consider he's pulling a camper trailer up a hill that would challenge most people without a camper trailer. Really good stuff, Dion. Top notch, mate. Listen to that thing.
I reckon the scout on foot.
I reckon there's a bit of a T-junction up over here. It looks pretty hard.
Yeah, let's go and have a look. Let's go and suss it out.
Folks, when you have to resort to using your hands and knees to get up a hill, you know it's steep. This is going to be a challenge.
We'll see what happens. I think you've got to get into it a little bit, like give it a fair bit of the right pedal, but I don't want to give it too much because it's very steep. Here we go.
Hoping that noise was only a hub. You saw Shauno's 2 front wheels come up and then under load come back down with a fair degree of aggression. Hoping it is a hub. Super simple. Now, my turn. Let's see how we go. That dust sure tells a tale. Hasn't rained out here for a while, and I've got a lot of wheel spin.
I think we're going to go bang.
Wheelbase versus the crux of that hill just wasn't working in my favour in this point. I could probably push harder, give it more revs, have another crack at it, bit more right boot, all that kind of stuff, but to what point? I'm just going to break things or I'm going to chew that track up even more. For me, it comes down to using the gear that I've got. One of those bits of gear, well, it's a winch. Let's put it to the test.
Am I? Yeah. Just needs to be a little bit higher.
The way the D-Max is, the last thing I want to do is be winching that front end down. I want to be winching it up and across, so that's nice. All right. Less drive, mate. Don't drive so much. Yeah, that's it, mate. Let the winch do the work. Put a fair bit of pressure on that front end.
I'm free.
Okay, down when you're ready, mate.
Can you just check what's in front of me, Graham, and see if I can just shoot down through those trees there?
Nah, you need to come over this way to the right of this tree here.
Go backwards, you reckon? And
What's hard to see in this particular shot that we've got right here
Keep going.
is the drop-off on Dion's
Keep going.
passenger side. If he gets on an angle there, there's no doubt, zero doubt in my mind that he'll roll over. And it's actually going to be quite tricky for him to turn hard right to avoid
Now
that.
turn hard left, hard left, hard left, hard left. Turn into it, otherwise you're gonna... Turn into it, hard left down, that's it. Yeah, no, I think you're going to tip over if you try that.
Situations like these where having eyes on the ground outside your truck are invaluable. Had Dion gone on with his initial plan of driving straight ahead, I don't think he would have made it.
Nah, stop there.
A spotter can be your best friend.
I think I'm going to have to winch you off this tree here.
I'm a big fan of a winch. It's such a controlled recovery item. You can go centimetre by centimetre.
Try and let the winch do the work, because I don't want you overriding it and sliding down that hill.
It makes so much more sense in situations like this to break out the winch than to continue driving and get yourself
Okay,
into
hold
an
there.
even worse position.
Back it off. It was a little dicey for a second.
I'm just hoping that we open this up, there's a broken part, and we go, that's what it is. And in about 5 minutes, I'll be back on the track. Look at that. That's broken 1, 2, 3, 4 places, that little gear there. So that of course, engages four-wheel drive. So without that, I can't be in four-wheel drive. I'm going to take this out, replace the hub, and I'll be back on the tracks in no time. It's about as broken as you get. Well, that's good news. The new one on, back on the tracks. Really does go to show, carrying a couple of spares. You know you've got a weak part in your vehicle, carry the spare. Doesn't take up much room in the back of the vehicle, and this will have me back on the tracks now.
Boys, a few little hold that hole through here and might check the old suspension out.
How good's that?
Struth, Shauno. It really doesn't get much closer than that, mate. Watch that driver's side.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, that's close to the bank. That's just the mirror. That's cool. That's okay. Put him back out and nothing is hurt. There we go.
Dion's going to have to be twice as mindful here, of course. He's going to have to watch both the truck and the trailer. Dion's got this. Look at him. He's never phased in the cab of that truck. And that shows that he's in control. Gives me confidence.
Well, I'm trying to hit the high side of this bank.
Okay, let's give it a go. That's an angle. Oh, Dion, I don't know if that's the best angle, mate. I think the camper trailer's just pushed him slightly down on the driver's side there. Needs to be back up on the passenger side.
I might try and reverse back because the canopy and the boat racks are just going to take away this.
This really was a difficult situation to be in. Doesn't look it on camera. It was in reality. Straighten her up too.
Which way is straight?
Yeah, you're good. You got to go back about that much. Okay. Put your foot on the everything. We even had a couple of innocent bystanders who were camped down the bottom come up to lend us a hand. We tried going forwards, backwards. It really was becoming quite a predicament. Either way, we were looking at doing panel damage to both the Scamper Camper and to Dion 79, none of which I wanted. In the end, the only thing that we could possibly do was try and winch him backwards. Have a think about the physics behind what we're trying to do right here. Camper trailer and 79 fully loaded for an expedition being pulled backwards up a hill by the D-Max. That is one heck of a winch job. Oh yeah, pull him across. Yeah, that'll work, yep. This is where experience and teamwork really does come into play. Everyone is working together, sharing ideas and making it happen. We didn't need to go back too far. In fact, I don't think it was more than perhaps just a vehicle length itself. But that put Dion in a far better position to go left hand down and come up and out of those ruts.
Yep, you're right, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Start to come over soon. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Move it, yep, that's good.
Yeah, dogs.
What a trip.
I can sum this trip up really quickly and easily. Bundaberg and surrounds, best kept secret in Australian four-wheel driving.
I've got another way to sum it up.
Go on.
Okay, broken winch rope.
Yes.
Broken CV.
Yes.
Broken CV, broken hub.
Yes.
And my squirty bottle's not working on the 30, so I can't wash my windscreen. Look, it's been a tough trip. Let me highlight tough. That's been, but fun, super fun.
They're some of the most fun tracks I've ever driven in the sense that they're challenging, but they're more technical than challenging. It's lots of ruts and you've got to pick your line. You've really got to be on it. The campsites out there too, absolutely mind-blowing. Check this place out.
Not too bad either.
This is an absolutely cracking part of the world, folks. If you've never heard of Bundaberg, you've all heard of Bundaberg, but if you've never been here, put it on your map. Tick it on that little box that you've got, all those little places you want to see when you do your big lap. Come up to Bundaberg
and try some of their local produce. I hear it's pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's
It's
the
not
way.
bad at all, mate. Look, come down to Bundy. Graham said it best, the best kept secret, I reckon, in Queensland, without a doubt. People just bypass it and go to some of the more famous stops and even race up to the Cape. But
Don't do that.
right here, you got some really fun tracks and good camping.
Perfect camping. We're going to do that. I think we've got another day or so, haven't we?
I think so, mate. I'm going to set up camp there.
Yep.
I reckon we'll kick back.
I think we will, folks. We're going to go and kick back and do what we do best. Have a couple of 4Xs. We'll see you next time on Say It.
Full drive action. We'll catch you there.
Ah, it's good fun. Look at him. Oh, he doesn't look impressed. Look at him. Get a shot of him. He doesn't look impressed.
Put a full coating of mud on the bottom. I don't actually need thongs. Look at that. On both sides. It's like an inch thick and it's quite comfortable. I think I'm faster in the bush like this.
Mate, I reckon leave your strap on.
Yeah.
Strap on.
I'm going to charge you for battery.
You got any salt? And pepper? Oh, I can't be bothered.
How good is Bundy, mate?
Mate, I will drink the Bundy. Cheers, mate. 4X. All right, don't cheers me then. It's fine. Cheers, bud. Oh, he's done it again.